As we all know, there has been a lot of violence that's been going on these past several months. But I'm here to tell you about something a lot more positive that's going on in our community. It's actually an organization. And this organization is here to inspire youth and young adults becoming more respectful and productive future citizens of our community. And this organization I'm talking about is RGD. And RGD stands for Royal Generation Development. And I'm here with a special guest. And I'm here with Brother Tim Granberry.
That's correct.
And actually, can you go ahead and just tell me a little bit about yourself and then what you do with the organization?
Okay. Well, I'm the president of Royal Generation Development, RGD as it's called.
Okay.
It got started back in 2004. So I kind of took over from Jerry Jones. I was his assistant until he left. I took over from there. So RGD is a community organization. It's not a striving church for the striving kids, it's for the community itself.
Oh, okay.
In fact, we have kids from All God's Children in VIP, 4 or 5 kids from Niceville, Mercy Seat, there's a lot of kids from there, youth from there, that's part of the organization. So, and then plus Striving Youth itself. So we have about 55 kids. Our goal is to get up to 100 kids.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. So your goal is really to reach out pretty much all of Okaloosa County.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
and I want to make sure that people understand that it's not a Striving, you know, we're at Striving, that just happened to be the church that provide facility for us, but it's for community, the whole community. That's
oh,
correct.
okay. Yeah. And then, and you mentioned like the church. Is it like a church type of organization, or is it just like open?
It's open. It's a community organization.
A community?
We do very little. Do we talk religion? It's for just everyday lifestyle changes is what we do. So it's more for that than anything else.
All right, sounds good.
Because there's enough churches that does it already. So we're not trying to change anything there. So non-denominational, whatever we want to come, can come community-wise.
Oh, so, great. So when people are listening, so they know it's like open to everybody, non-denominational, that's great.
Right.
So, and then especially with that goal, so you're almost like, you're more than halfway there
right.
getting it. So hopefully people who are listening is like, oh, this sounds like something that I'd be interested in and something positive for the youth. Because like I said earlier, you know, a lot of negative things have been happening in our community. So we really need to bring more positive stuff going on.
And that's what we're here for, yes.
Excellent. So, so you have, who are like some of the community partners that you have that's like involved with this organization?
Compass Bank, Miss Maddie Clark, she's been a big portion of. They give us grants for and do financial counseling for the youth. She come out and very involved herself. Of course, Synergy, it's another 501(c)(3) organization, but they give money to us, and we in turn do USDA help out food drive for them with them. Striving itself, offer facility, which in kind facility, and whatever else we may need there. The police department. They do come and get community activities for us.
Sounds like you got like a lot of people.
Well-rounded.
That's good. It's something that like the youth need. So like what actually ages do you have or grades that you have for the kids?
It is for 6th to 12th graders, but we do have, we allow some 5th graders. We allow a certain percent, 10% can be 5th graders.
Okay.
Only reason is that because when you get to 6th grade, junior high, it's a big difference between junior high and elementary.
Right.
And so we don't want to have too many small kids because whatever we may be doing, they may not be able to comprehend or understand. So we're from 6 to 12.
Oh, okay, because when you're talking about community partners and you're talking about like will help with like financial advice, the kind of thing for the youth. So what, do you have like examples of that? Because I think that's really kind of cool for kids to learn.
Because you know, nowadays in school, they're so busy talking FCAT and other things, they don't have a chance to find checkbooks. Kids, most youth don't know how to even use a checkbook. They think you got a checkbook, money's in the bank.
Exactly.
You know, I got a check, I got money in the bank. That's right. So they come and talk about that, how to start a savings, especially the youth who get ready to go off to college. Can't wait till the 12th grade to start doing that. You got to start early. So we start them out early, just little baby steps on certain areas, and then hopefully they'll get used to that. And when they go off, or as they get older, some got jobs, so they put a little money away. So,
Okay.
yes.
I'm really glad that you mentioned, especially with the checkbook, because I remember I spoke with a woman before, and she was just trying to teach, a lot of times parents themselves would have to teach their child about checkbooking, and some
Right.
don't have the time. So she did mention that she had to teach her son, and apparently he didn't really grasp the concept,
Yeah.
because then she was wondering, he's like, why did my check bounce? And then she talked to him, and then he said, oh, I thought you can just write any number.
Right.
And then she's
Yeah.
like, no, that's
No,
not how that works.
not how it works. But that happened even happened in the military. When I first got in the military, young airmen coming in, they thought the same thing because they didn't get trained. So I mean, just a offset, but that's what happened there too. So it's not just youth. I mean, it could be
Right.
adults. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be a future thing you can
Right.
think about. But that's cool that you have that, that program implemented in there. And then especially, I think that's really big, financing and stuff like that, especially
Sure.
for college. And
Yes.
colleges are getting more and more expensive.
Yeah.
Even when I was in college, every year they said, oh, tuition's going to go up. So that's kind of cool that you're helping, the youth with that.
And you got to learn how to budget that money. I mean, because you don't have a limited amount. It's not like you have an unlimited amount of money. So yes.
That's very true.
Yes.
And then also another thing that you have is like mentoring. You said like mentoring is like a big part of the program.
Yes.
So like how does that work?
Well, it's not really one-on-one mentoring, but it's more as a group. But now, if someone don't want to do one-on-one later on, we would do that individually. But we started leadership, trying to teach them how to be a leader. By doing that, we have kings and queens that we have every year that we crown. And that person, now they're kind of leader of the group. They got to help establish things, because when you get off in school somewhere later on, you need to know how to lead people.
Right.
And I used to tell my son all the time, don't be a follower, be a leader. So learn how to lead people. So we try to give them guidance. Let them do it first, and it's okay. We suggest you do this or this differently.
Okay. So what ways do you really help with them and like leading? Is there like, do you do meetings or something like that? Like especially
Yes.
when it's like during school, like how does that
Yeah,
work?
we have meetings first Saturday every month. And what we do also, we allow them to come to our RGD staff meeting. And they in turn should be talking to their other youth in the organization to bring suggestions to us for certain things. Because see, we can say, let's do this, this, and this for the youth, but they may be thinking something different.
Yeah.
We're older, so our minds are thinking different than their minds are. So we ask them, what do you want to do? So we ask them to, in turn, go back and query the other youth, find out what they want to do, what they like to do. They will in turn say yes or no, maybe we can do this, maybe we can't. So again, that's to help them to go and get involved, talk to them. Then once that happens, then like for our banquets we have every year, let them set everything up. They pick the music, they pick the theme, and we just in turn got them.
Oh wow, that is like
Yeah.
a really good thing to really get them more involved into
Right.
seeing what goes into planning.
Because it's theirs, it's not ours. So it's their day. So
Exactly. So, they learn what all goes into that and stuff. And sometimes it made things look easy, when they go to functions that adults have, actually been in charge of and doing this. Like, oh, that looks easy, you're getting food together. But then when they have to do it themselves, they're like, wow,
Sure.
there's a lot that's involved.
because
So that's good.
most time people don't understand what goes on behind the scene.
Right.
They come to a function and it's already there.
Right.
But what happened behind the scene, all the preparation, planning, and everything, they don't see. So now they see it from beginning to the end. What's going to cost? We got a budget. You can't go over that budget.
Exactly.
So yes.
And then it goes back to the financing thing. So
That's
I like
right.
how you tie everything together, so pretty much so that when they're ready, when they go out in the real world, then they actually, have all the skills that's necessary. And you did mention before about that you have a king and a queen. So like who are they and what roles do they play in this organization?
Our queen is Carissa, and our king is, I got to think of the name now. I'm coming back to that. I'll think of just a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. But their role is that they're kind of the leaders, and they in turn they kind of spokesman for the group itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's voted on by the group. So it's voted by the group, and so this year our king and queen, there's one's 12th, one is the 11th grade.
Okay.
They could be a 10th grader. It just depends on who the youth vote on. So.
Oh, so every year you get somebody
Yes.
new and stuff.
At the banquet every year, we'll announce a new king and queen for the following year.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cool. So like everybody get like dressed up and formal
Right,
and
formal,
stuff like
very
that.
formal. Oh yes, very formal. So in fact, some of the pictures I seen in with some of them, they're dressed up. They come out, they look good. Last year we had gangsters, So they came in their hat and their suspenders and no guns and things, just your dress, you know, so.
And I saw on, when you're talking about like the description about World Generation, it talked about also that you do etiquette and stuff like that.
Yes.
So is that something that they also show when they're going to the formal event, like, hey, this is what I've learned?
Yes.
So what kind of things do they learn, like in etiquette?
Okay, so that's a good point. That's the other person. That's the person I missed just then. Sister Jessie Jackson. She comes in and she's our etiquette guru.
Yes.
So she would sit them down and talk to them about etiquette, how to eat, how to sit, how to sit while she's sitting at the table, how to move a seat out for a young lady, how to walk a lady back and forth to her seat, moving out. So she does all that for us, and she actually have the youth walk with her and actually do it, so that they can watch and see themselves. Because here's the thing, a lot of times they go to McDonald's fast food places, but never they sit down at a 4-star or a regular restaurant and sit and eat. So you know how to do when you do sit there. Which fork is which spoon is which. So Miss Jessie goes from the beginning to the end on that, and she does a very good job of that.
And being female, sometimes, you know, when you're used to doing things yourself, I think it's kind of cool to have that, you know, kind of like, this is the way it's supposed to be done, you know, especially when it's time to go on dates and stuff like that. It's like, hey, he's supposed to open the door for you, even getting out of the car. And sometimes you're like, dude, I can open the door. But it's good that you're like, hey, you know, I know you can do it, but it's not really about that, you know. So then I think it's good, you know, speaking on behalf of the women, that they know and the girls know that, hey, you know, it's okay to let, you know, a guy doing that for you and open the door and be, you know, nice about it too. Don't be like, oh yeah, you're supposed to do this. You know, be really nice and stuff like that. So I really love that.
A good example of that is I had a friend that told me, and I'm doing it with my granddaughter, is that on her birthday, so special day, take her out. The father take a grandfather take her out on a date, just to show you how a young man is supposed to treat you. Open the door, sit you down. So otherwise you don't know. Sometimes you just don't know. You don't know. So we'll do that. Open the door, sit her down, and do this thing so she know.
That's really good. And that's cool that you mentioned that too, because some may not have, you know, that like male figure, positive male figure. So that's another thing that this organization can do, you know, for the youth. And then also the males can see, like, this is how you're supposed to treat. And like I said, we've seen a lot of negative things going on, you know, even especially with domestic violence and stuff. So you get them before. Prevention is key. So you get them before and say, like, hey, this is how you need to behave. Get them beforehand. So when they're older, then they know how to respect, you know, their future wives or other people in the community. Be respectful to everybody.
You know, it's one thing too. So you can't say they wasn't never taught it. Can't say they didn't know, because we teach it to them.
Exactly.
So, you know, so that's the thing.
Well, that's good. And guess what? We're actually just time for a break already.
All right.
So, and we heard a lot from you with Royal Generation, but we'll be back with more information about this great organization. Thank you. Right here on Insight.
That's low and look, he's blushing. Seriously.
Our commitment to the community is something that we believe in and act on every single day. It's a key part of our culture and who we are as a company.
Cox donates millions of dollars in cash and in-kind services to support local nonprofit and civic organizations each year. We recognize that a healthy community is a growing community. Here's a look at just a few of the organizations we support right here in Northwest Florida.
We're extremely proud of all these local partnerships.
Together, we are working to make the Gulf Coast thrive.
In only 30 minutes a week, you can make a big impact on a child in Okaloosa County. The Okaloosa School District is recruiting mentors at all academic levels throughout the county. Studies show that students who are mentored develop self-confidence, make better grades, and improve their relationships with adults and peers. To learn more about the mentoring program or to sign up, visit okaloosaschools.com and click on the Become a Mentor link. You can make an immediate impact on a child and the community by becoming a mentor today.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hi, I'm Valerie, and I'm your host right here on Insight, and we're back. And I'm here with Mr. Tim Granberry, and we've been talking about a great organization called Royal Generation Development, also known as RGD. And we talked about a lot of different things about services that your organization offers to the youth, and mainly in Okaloosa County. Yes. And then we talked about also about King and Queen, that's also in there. Yeah. So I think we kind of left off on that. So so you mentioned before about the names of it. Yes. The Queen is, we say, Carissa
Bundell.
Okay.
And then Jalen Hayes is the king.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then we talked a little bit about etiquette. That's where we left off, and talked about and the importance of that. Yeah. And so that made me think about like the name, Royal Generation, and like how you came about with that name and why you decided to go that route.
Okay. Well, first thing that happened was that it started off is that they had a organization, just all girls. It was called Queen for a Day.
Oh, okay.
And that's what first started off. And the guys came back and said, well, how come we don't have anything?
Yeah.
So we started thinking, okay, what can we do for the guys? Mm-hmm. So we started thinking names. So somehow they came with Royal Generation Development.
Okay.
Of King and Queens. So we thought if you treat them like royalty, they act like royalty. So that's what we want them to do. That wherever they go, I tell them all the time, you are a symbol for this organization. Mm-hmm. When you go out in the community, what they see, first impression is the lasting one. So you make sure if you're gonna wear these clothes or RGD on your jacket or your clothes, yes. Make sure you represent us well. Okay. Because take one time for a person to see something and think, I don't want to be in an organization because the way that one person acts,
right.
So.
Okay, so the whole point, like behind that name, is pretty much how they act and how they should hold themselves up.
That's
okay.
right. As King and Queens,
Oh, okay.
King and Queens is high, it's held high, very high in stature. So
if they look confident and stuff like that, then
yes.
Pretty much outside people will see them like, oh, who was this group? How they're held, instead of looking all slouchy and stuff which sometimes kids can get, especially when they get too comfortable. Yeah. You're like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I'm fine. I'm like, but they look like this.
Yes.
And you're just like, okay. So that's kind of cool.
And speaking of outside, when you mentioned that, we are looking for. So if anybody, we're looking for community projects to do.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody out there have a project that need a group to do or used to do, because we want to get outside the church and outside the community more and do more things that we've been seeing in the community itself.
That's cool.
So we'll look for those things too.
So what kind of projects have you done like in the past?
We did Cram the Van. We did every year. Did Cram the Van. We do USDA. The kids do that every month. So in the past, we've over yearly 8,000 pounds of food given out to the youth work that. Feast Fit for King, which is at Strive in itself, they help serve. Okay. The prison bank, which is in Niceville, it's not the prison, it's a chaplain banquet, actually called chaplain banquet. Oh, okay. So we go and serve 450 people, serve their meal. And that's the only wait service to have is our youth from our church and several other churches in the community. Not RGD members, other members in the community itself.
Okay.
So we do those. I mentioned about World Greatest Baby Shower. We serve food out there for them. So we're out in the community doing quite a few things. We walk the Martin Luther King parade. In fact, the last 5 years we won that award 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for community involvement with our youth itself.
Oh, wow, that's really excellent. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because Insight, we've been around for actually 5 years, which seems weird. I can't believe we've been around for a long time. But we've had a lot of people from the community that's come in from, Okaloosa, and we've had a couple from Muscogee County that come in. And basically we do like to showcase, organizations that really help the community, but what a lot of things that they have that they need help with. It's funny, I think everybody who's been on the show can help each other.
Sure.
So I think hopefully this show can help out. So even past people who've been on the show can look at this and be like, hey, we can use your kids, because I've heard a lot of them say, we need volunteers or we need this. So I think it's really important, to everybody helps each other. That's what a community is for.
And that's why I wanted to come. It's because I work a full-time job, so I'm not out to know what the community may need.
Right.
But somebody may listen to this and hear this, or you may know somebody who may need something. So we can go from just bring a small group of kids, youth, or we can have the whole gamut of youth out there to help out. So, but we need things to do so more people see us in the community, see us and see things we're involved in.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you mentioned the world's greatest baby shower, and
Yeah.
in fact, stay tuned for that. And in a few months, we're actually going to have some people from Healthy Start. So then again, so
Yes.
I can tell them, it's like, hey, we had RGD here, and I know they've helped you guys out.
Sure have.
So, which
Yeah.
is, really a good example of, how we can really help each other and,
Yeah.
and really keep this community strong. Like I said, what's been going on, we really need to keep, this
totally agree.
positive, and then, everybody to really get involved in stuff like that. So.
Well, you mentioned Healthy Start. I forgot. They're one of the people. They come out and help us also. In fact, I got a call from her yesterday. She's gonna in December. She's gonna come and do texting while driving for the youth.
Oh wow, really?
So we have people come in and speak to our youth about certain things. That can be one of the subjects you're going to talk about,
That's
which is a
huge.
great subject. Oh yes, huge.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
actually driving over here, my mom saw someone, it wasn't texting, but she was on the phone. She's like, why are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Because she was like in the middle. Yeah, and then,
Right.
so everybody's like frustrated with that. But people do really need to get educated, and also reminders, constant.
sure.
People are like, oh, I can just look at my phone really quick. But I think that's really good that, they're coming out. And then,
Yes.
for the kids to get reminders, especially with kids.
Yes.
You need to be reminded a lot.
That's
Yeah,
right.
You just
You
tell them
reinforce
something.
it. That's right.
And then you say it again.
What
'cause
it
they're
say?
like,
Go to one ear out the other ear. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen some
Yeah.
videos and stuff that, they use scare tactics, and some
Oh,
people
yes.
think like, oh, is that too harsh? I'm like, well, not really. They've
No.
seen some, they
Oh,
play
yes.
some violent video
I'll
games.
take it
They
one
think
time.
they can handle it.
Yes.
So that's really good that they're
Right.
doing that. And I didn't know, I think a lot of people don't know they even do that too, the texting, and that's cool that they do that for,
Right.
the kids that's coming in. So that should be exciting.
Yes, it is. I'm
And-
looking forward to hearing it. Yeah.
Cool. And I'm sure people are listening and they're like, hey, I want my child to be, part of this group. Because I know some kids, not everybody's always like involved, with schools and stuff like that. Some kids are.
Yes.
And then, so I think this is a really good avenue for those kids that maybe aren't really into, sports or into
Sure.
much. And then,
Right.
but they really want to get involved
Yeah.
somehow. So how would they do about doing that if a parent's watching right now and say, hey, my child needs to do more than playing video games? How can they get
They can
involved?
contact me or at the number on the screen, or they can contact Striving itself and ask for RGD, Minister Layton. They can pass the information on. We only meet once a month for our regular meeting,
Okay.
the first Saturday each month, because we found out that other Saturdays, youth, they are doing other things, or they
Right.
want to do things with the family, so they're in school all week long, so they want to take up too many of the Saturdays.
Right.
So we meet once a month, the first Saturday each month, from 10 to 12. Now we have some, in addition, two of the teams will do USDA on the third Saturday each month. And again, that's the volunteer thing.
Okay.
But if we have some other community projects, we can meet other times. Just that we can plan for that rather than, and then we know I'm people need. So.
And like you said,
Yeah.
you have high schoolers too, and I know they require community service hours.
That's correct. And
You
we'll
know, for
sign-
scholarships
that's right.
and stuff like that. So you guys will sign that off for them.
Sure will.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
so they're listening. And what are the requirements in order to be part of this organization?
There's none besides be the right age and everything. So we'll come in and then, like I say, we'll train them up for its discipline and what, because you gotta, when you get in there, we try to maintain a C average.
Okay.
But here's the thing, because we like to make it higher, but everybody's not an A/B student.
Right.
So, and it used to be lower than that. We say, well, we need C as a passing, but at the same time, RGD pays for tutoring on Wednesday nights.
Oh, okay.
So the youth cannot having struggling with some of the subject areas.
Right.
They can go on Wednesday night at Striving upstairs. They have a computer room, and they have people there that would work with them. If they need one-on-one, now they'll get someone in contact with someone specifically whatever subject they need, so they can work with them one-on-one.
Oh, it's another
So there's no
service.
need for you say couldn't get no help.
Right.
So yes.
No excuses.
And we pay for that. That's part of. We pay for that. RG pays for that service there.
Okay.
For the tutor upstairs.
That's huge. A
Yes.
lot of, especially now when education pretty much has changed a lot.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool that you offer that,
Yeah.
for the kids and for the parents. That's helpful for the parents
Sure,
too.
because nowadays, now parents, they doing math. Youth doing math now in the third and fourth grade that we didn't do to
Right.
6th, 7th, 8th grade. or didn't do it at all because
Yeah,
it's different.
totally different
That's right.
methods and stuff
That's
like
right.
that. So you have
Sure.
to like learn it really quick, and sometimes people don't have the time to,
Right.
it's like, okay, I can't sit down and learn your work really quick and then help you teach
Right.
it. So it's cool that you have, that service, for the kids. So we're actually like running close out of
Okay,
time. Is there
okay.
anything, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who's interested.
Mm-hmm.
What's one more thing that you really want to share with our viewers, about RGT and really get them to like, oh, this is really cool. Like, do you need help from the community or stuff like that?
Yeah, let's talk about, the community itself. We did numerous trips, and some of the things we've done is that we've been to Washington, D.C.
Oh, okay.
We've been to Selma. We got a chance to walk across the Edmund Pettus Bridge with one of the guys who walked with Martin Luther King.
Oh, cool.
The last 3 years we went to Atlanta, Georgia for the Jensen Franklin called Forward Conference. 17,000 kids there for this conference, religious conference.
kids.
It's a lot of kids, but it's a fun time. They all enjoyed it. They all enjoyed it. So we do a lot of things besides community. We want to have fun and also work. So we try to even our meetings, we try to make sure that someone come in or speak. We may have refreshments. We may play games, then we leave. So because they're in school all year long,
Right.
all week long, doing work. So we don't want to make it all work, no play.
And you have services not just asking for kids to join, but also for people to volunteer if they want to.
That's right.
And also your 501c3, so people can donate as well.
That's right. That's very
Okay.
true. Yeah, yes, that's one of the things. You want to donate because we always need money to help do more things, and we keep a tight restraint on that money, where it goes and what was done with it. That's why we have to we budget, make sure that those things goes out right. Very structured what we do, and the board of directors and everything. So
Great.
yes.
Well, I really appreciate you being on the show with us,
Thank you.
and I've learned so much. Like I heard about, Real Generation, being a member of Striving, but
Right.
it's really nice to sit down and talk to you about more details about what you offer. And I'm sure our viewers really appreciate that too. So thank you so much, Mr. Tim Granberry,
Well, thank
for
you,
joining
and
us.
just give me a call or a
Okay.
church call. We can work it out.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
And thank you all for watching us right here on Insight.